in the summer. And so, and maybe a few of those guys can help us. I don't know. We'll see. But our football team is going through spring practice, and that's not always the case in college football. Usually you have most of your allotted new guys coming in the summer. But with 15 mid-year enrollees, it really gives us a unique opportunity. And you have people entering your program that know nothing every year, and you really have to start over. But it gives the older guys an opportunity to kind of reestablish, when you throw it maybe a little bit more sticks this time around, and they just kind of continue to progress with your system. So that's really what spring ball is about. It's fundamentals, it's technique. We've learned a lot about ourselves, studying ourselves, talking to other coaches, looking at our problems. Defensively, we were the standard, in a lot of areas, this year. Usually you study yourself and you say, okay, well, we were, 20th and third down, for example. Well, what was first? Who was first in the country? And you kind of study yourself, and we were the standard in a bunch of categories, and we weren't off in several others. So that's a real positive. So how do we continue to try to sustain some of that success? But then where do we need to improve? We look at our big plays. We look at, we think we gave up too many runs of 10 yards or more. Why? Was it things that kept showing up? Was it isolated? Was there a pattern? Was it misfits, missed tackles, poor eyes, poor alignment, busted assignments, whatever. And then same thing on the offensive side as we really study ourselves. Had 28 sacks. Why? Well, 12 were on the offensive line. 12. The offensive line was responsible for 12 sacks. Well, okay, there's 16 more. The offensive line always gets blamed for all of them, but, why? Well, the quarterback had this many. Our tight ends had these. The running back had – and so how do we fix that? We need to improve, obviously, in the red zone. A couple years ago, I think we were number one in the country in red zone. And this year we weren't very good. I think we were 78%. And, why? What happened? Well, we had about 10 just screw-ups. Okay, how do we fix that? Is it scheme? Is it personnel? Is it just maybe a little mis-execution, some poor luck, whatever? A couple of turnovers. Fumbles in the red zone, bad snap in the red zone, interception in the red zone, a couple missed kicks, a couple bad calls, a couple of poor executions. So you start looking at that and you say, okay, here's what we need to do to improve. Some of it's personnel. We a couple years ago, we were a little better running the ball with our quarterback in the red zone, having a guy like Taj Boyd, and we were a little better in some one-on-one situations with Sammy and Martavis. So some of it is personnel, but that's what we do in the offseason. We study ourselves. We really critique and try to figure out how we need to structure spring practice, where the emphasis needs to be. You get 15 days. We're not gonna get it all done, but we got to make a lot of progress. And but one thing that keeps coming up as we really go through this process is leadership. Obviously we lost a lot of good players, but everybody loses good players. But we lost some great leadership. I mean, we lost some tough, battle-tested guys, and that's what we got to develop in a hurry. You can't give a guy 3 and 4 years of experience, in a spring practice, but every opportunity that we get to really develop the chemistry, the leadership, the toughness of some of these young, talented guys that we have, it's critical that we do that. We got to look for opportunities, to challenge them, and in all of those areas. So that's a consistent theme as we talk through each position and what the goals are for each position and what the overall goals are for offense and defense, especially in a couple areas. So I'm fired up to get going. I mean, it's a blast to get out on the field. I've had a chance to, visit with a lot of guys in the last couple of weeks and just talking about some philosophies and things, and we're ready to roll. March 2nd, can't get here soon enough. We've got a lot of work to do. I like our football team. First thing that everybody's going to jump out at everybody is the defensive line. We lost, a bunch of NFL guys. I really think we're going to have I think we'll have 15 guys that are going to get in the camp, either through the draft or through signing as a free agent. We've never had that. I mean, that's a lot of football players off of your team that are good enough to get a shot at the next level. When you got that type of talent walking out the door, obviously there's a lot to replace. But I like how we've recruited. I love our young talent. I think our frontline guys, we've got good experience. We just don't have the experience depth that we've had the last year or so. But there's other areas that are stronger, like in the secondary. You know, I think we've got a chance to be special in the secondary if we'll continue to work and just, you know, chop wood every day. Same thing at running back. I think we've got a chance to be special. I think we've got a chance to be really, really good at quarterback, tight end. And with the addition of the guys that we have in the offensive line, that entire room is going to be transformed. We really went through a whole season this past year with, 8 guys, sometimes 6 and 7 guys. And these 4 freshmen coming in, or plus Falcinelli and Hearn, and a year wiser Crowder and Maverick Morris really give us kind of a transformation in our offensive line room. So I'm excited just to get out there and get started, and we'll start with the fundamentals. We'll start with the basics. You know, sometimes as coaches we get so focused on what we're doing, and my challenge is to make sure that we know how to do it, that we don't get distracted by what to do as opposed to how to do it. And that's what spring ball is about. So it'll be a lot of fundamental and technical work. You know, you look at our linebacker core, I mean, we got a bunch of young guys that don't know anything as far as our system. They haven't been coached by Brent. And so we just got a lot of work to do. So we're going to start over. That's basically what we're going to do. And, hopefully make a lot of progress in 15 days. We got injury-wise, most everybody's in pretty good shape. Obviously Adam Choice and DJ Greenlee, Seconder, Deshaun Watson, and Travis Blanks are out and limited. They'll do some things, but limited. I know everybody's going to ask me about Deshaun. He's just killing it. Way ahead. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, he just way ahead of where a guy normally would be, at this stage. So, really pleased with the progress that he's making and, just the work ethic that he brings every day. DJ Reader, probably be a little limited the first 2 days. He hurt his big toe, dropped a weight on it a few weeks ago, but he'll be okay. But he might be a little limited first couple practices. But, we're getting Zach Brooks back and excited about that. Leggett will be back. C.J. Davidson's back rolling, and just some guys that have had a little, we've had some sick guys here and there, stomach bugs, strep throat, but should have everybody out there. J.J. McCullough is still not back with us. He's doing everything we're asking him to do, and hopefully he'll continue to do that. Then he'll have the opportunity to rejoin us hopefully sooner than later. But, that's kind of still in his court. Another guy that you guys may or may not know about is Guillermo. Really disappointed for him because he would have gone into the spring ball as a starter for us. And, I love Jay, great kid, great family, but he's not with us right now. He's got some medical issues that are just kind of personal in nature. That's about the best way I can describe it. And the biggest thing with him right now is just trying to get Jay healthy. I don't anticipate him at this point being with us this spring, and that's disappointing from just a football standpoint because he's a really good player and like I said, would have gone into spring as a starter for us, and he's worked really, really hard. But he's got some health things that he's got to get worked out. That are much more important than football. So hopefully that'll happen for him. But at the same time, hey, it's opportunity for somebody else. So Crowder will probably be the guy that will slip in there at that right guard position and get that first opportunity to win that job. It's going to be a lot of competition this spring in the trenches, a lot of competition. You got to start somewhere. I try to tell people, I mean, yes, we have a depth chart, but, I mean, it really isn't – it's not worth the paper that it's printed on. I mean, because there's just so much work to be done and a lot of competition ahead. for all of these guys. Just because you started last year doesn't mean you start this year. You have to earn it every year. You got to prove it all over again. So but we typically will start with the veteran guys, and then we'll go from there. But it's spring ball is about giving everybody an opportunity to compete. So we'll work 3 groups all spring long. We don't have scout teams. Everybody learns the system. Everybody is coached. Everybody gets the same installation. The reps aren't always even, but everybody will get an opportunity to compete, to win a job, or to move up on the depth chart. And hopefully when we come out of it and we go into fall camp, we'll have the type of competitive depth that we're looking for. So, again, ready to go on March 2nd, and hopefully you guys will come out. I think we got a good-looking football team. I like the focus of this team. Just talking this morning, one of the things Joey, there's been very little distraction with this team. They've been very business-like, I think is the term that Joey used as they've gone through the off season. So that's a good sign. I think guys are excited because they know that there's a lot of jobs open and a lot of opportunity. And then we got some guys that have kind of had to be patient around here, like a Kevin Dodd, for example, who I think one day will be drafted in the NFL. But he's had to be patient around here because he's had some really, really good players in front of him, and it's kind of now his time. And it's fun to see that sense of urgency in some of these guys that know, hey, it's my time. Ben Boulware chomping at the bit to be the guy, and so let's see how he responds with that. Some guys like B.J. Goodson, they haven't been asked to be that leader yet. They haven't really been in that position because they've kind of had Stephon or Tony or Shuey, whoever it was, that kind of will take that role. Well, we need a guy like B.J. who we know can play to step up and take that role. We need a guy like Battle to assert himself. We know Ryan Norton will do it. Mac Lane is as good a leader as we got on the team. Is he ready to be that day in, day out great player that we need him to be? So there's a lot of things we got to get answered, but the only way that happens is to get out there and get to work, and we'll start that on Monday. Any questions? Yeah. That's all right. I got players that sleep in the meetings too when I have team meetings, and they usually sit on the back row too. That's why I tell them, get up here on the front row. No, it's just like I said earlier. He's still not back with us. He's doing everything we're asking him to do, but just not quite back in the fold yet. So hopefully he'll stay the course.
You spoke to the red zone issue that just 3 years ago in 2012, first in the country, now down there. I mean, you don't have the Tigers back.
That at running gets hurt. Tyshawn's not. And the starter going tight end, obviously in the offensive line. So all in all, we did a lot of good things, and then the injury with Deshaun. But we definitely have the personnel. We've recruited very well. Artavis this time last year was just a guy we hoped would be a good player. He's kind of been there and done that now. We were hoping we'd get a little something out of G-Hop. I think he had his best year. Can he kind of take it to another level this year from a consistency standpoint and a daily commitment? He didn't even have spring ball last year. I didn't even let him go through spring. So, hopefully he'll have his best off season. And it's just it was a little bit of everything. So I'm proud of what we got done. Personnel is definitely here to be better. A healthy Deshaun Watson is gonna be a big factor in that. I think the improvement in the offensive line, the little added experience at receiver now, getting Sharon Peak back healthy, another big kind of loss for us last year in the middle part of the year. So there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle that are here. We just kind of got to put it all together. And then when you look at our red zone issues, again, I mean, it only takes about 4 or 5 of those things to drastically, I think we were 78%, and it only takes 4 or 5 of those things, and you're right there, toward the top of the country. That's one of the things I was talking to David Shaw about a week or so ago, and a couple years, they were number 1 in the cut. They've been a great red zone team a long time, and they were terrible this year. And he and I were talking about it because, they had just studied it as well, and he was so frustrated. And he's like, but when you go back through it and you start looking at it, and you go, okay, all right, there's nothing wrong with this call. I mean, we're not quite as good personnel-wise right here maybe this year as we were last year. We got to get better there, or maybe it's, maybe we're not quite as good at quarterback or whatever. You miss a couple of kicks, you have a couple of turnovers, and that gets skewed quickly. So I think you got to, as you evaluate it, say, okay, what's correctable? We had a couple of huge turnovers in the red zone. We had this couple snaps. Those are things that just can't happen. And we a couple of times where we got whipped. It wasn't necessarily a bad call. We just got whipped. Their guy was better than our guy. A couple of situations where we made a bad call. So it's all collectively together trying to minimize that. But over the course of the season, 4 or 5 of them, it'll affect your percentage, and you can go from 50-60 to 15-20 like that when with so few opportunities.
Because Deshaun will be coming off of ACL rehab, he had 3 injury issues last year. Will you have any reservations about putting him in those short yardage positions the way that Boyd was put in so often?
No, we run zone read. That's what we do. That's why he came here. He's you don't play the game in fear. And you start playing this game in fear. I mean, Deshaun Watson got hurt. Nobody touched him. I mean, he didn't get touched. He just planted and cut on air and tore his ACL. So you can't play that way. I mean, we're going to get the ball to the. Hopefully, we have a complete surrounding cast around him, which makes everything better. But if you're going to be a zone read type of offense and quarterback's not going to be a factor, well, it's not going to work. If you're going to run the triple option like Georgia Tech and quarterback's not going to run the ball, then you're not going to be very effective. So that's what we do, and that's why we recruited Deshaun. That's why he came here, is to have the opportunity to impact the game, with his feet and his arm, and he'll certainly continue to do that. We've never had a problem with quarterbacks being healthy. That's the first time I've ever lost a quarterback since I've been the head coach, was this year. Kyle Parker never missed a game. Taj Boyd never missed a game. Just kind of one of those years. I mean, fluky thing with a broken finger. If it had been on the left hand, he'd have never missed a game. But it just happened to be on the pinky or the pointer finger. So that's just you have years like that. But no, we don't play or coach in fear. We play to win, and whatever we got to do that gives us the best chance to win. If it's to run the quarterback 50 times, or throw it 50 times, or hand the ball off 50 times, whatever we think gives us the best chance to win, that's what we're going to do, because that's our focus, is winning the ball game. But I think that we will have a very balanced cast of characters next year that's going to really help us. And then Deshaun has to be smart. He's got to be smart and take care of himself. And but physically, he's never had a problem staying on the field, and I don't anticipate that throughout his career here.